You don't want to waste your time on the wrong person. In this video, we're going to look at the 3 scientific facts that you have to know. If you don't want to invest years in the wrong relationship or the wrong job or the wrong something, if you can identify it, you will make the right decision for yourself. My name's Dr. Kaur. And today we're going to cover something that's vital for everyone to understand: the science of how your brain functions. So you always understand you and you understand how your brain makes decisions and choices, specifically to relationships. So then I could move forward. And I want to share that with you now so that my pain and suffering over years and being manipulated wasn't all for nothing. You can hopefully bypass all of that. We're going to be looking at 3 important scientific facts and really break it down. So, 1, so it can make sense. 2, that you can use it on a practical level. And 3, it's something that you can use for the rest of your life in all areas of your life. And I've left the best till last. So let's start. Lesson number 1. We've all experienced a difficult person or a difficult situation. Everyone at least has one difficult person in the family. There's always one. Maybe there's a manipulative person at work that you're seeing that's sneaky, or a friend that feels insecure and is always making you feel bad about yourself. The problem is when we know there's a problem, but for some reason we keep doubting ourselves, we start thinking that we're the bad person. It's really easy to doubt because we've been wired up in our brain to connect to other people. So where you have hope that someone's going to change or that person's going to be a good human being, you literally can't see reality. It actually stops us. That's what an illusion is in the real sense. The latest research on narcissism, and this is really vital that you understand this, states that it's so important for people who interact with narcissists to know this. Now, you are going to have someone who has more narcissistic traits around you. They're predicting it's like 1 in 6. What they're showing in this new study, and they've done a huge amount of research, is that narcissists don't change. It's incredible study that's 3 different types of narcissists: the vulnerable ones, the grandiose ones, the ones that we typically think, the ones that are flashy and always getting the attention, and then the malignant ones. And they all show that they don't change. There's a small change as they age, but it's not worth you holding on for them to change. And it's so vital we know why we fall for it. Why do we fall for people that manipulate us? Why do we hold on? You see, where you've created a connection with someone, even the narcissist, your brain will continue to keep that connection until you give up hope. And this is so important. You won't be able to let go of things, even though you know they're no good. One of the actionable steps that I'd like you to do is I want you to really look at your life right now. Look at your relationships where you know something isn't good for you. It might be a job, it might be a relationship, it might be a friend, but you keep going back. I want you to start looking at, is there hope that they will change? Really try and pinpoint, what are you hoping them to change into? Have you got hope that they will change? Be honest. Try and pinpoint it. Do you have hope? And how do they hook you in to having that hope? Because that's quite important here. And I want you to really think about making a list of everything that isn't working for you right now. What is it that you want to change? The people, your job, what is it? And then see, what are you hoping for will change all by itself? So is it the hope that if you're in an intimate relationship, that once you retire or once you have children, they're going to change? Or maybe you're being promised a promotion at work. How have they hooked in your hope? Really get specific and make the list and start looking at the list and start creating closure, even if it takes a month. Really tick each thing off, each item off, and take one thing at a time and really look at reality and the facts and see if you can break through the illusion. Lesson number 2, understand how your brain reacts to healthy and unhealthy people. This is so key. This is something that should be taught in schools. I'm so passionate about this because it could literally save your life. I want you to notice what is going on with you and what you keep investing your time and energy and money into. Could it be the wrong relationship? Notice when you meet someone, or even after the relationship has ended, do you still keep thinking about that person? Even if it's not possible to change them, you can't change other people or stop other people from manipulating you. But how can you fix this? Because we can't fix the other person. We can't change the narcissist. But if you understand the following, you won't be able to be manipulated. So you will always be in control and you'll be able to leave. This is so important. Let me give you a real life example. One of my clients called Casey, for instance, she couldn't leave a difficult relationship. She kept letting in the toxic person into her life. Even though he was an abusive person, she let him into her home. She couldn't help it. She was worried she would lose her son, worried she'd lose her job. She thought she'd lose everything, her home, everything. But she couldn't understand why she couldn't do it. She had no control over this. Now, you might be thinking, well, no, that's not me. I wouldn't let that happen. She gave herself such a hard time. Anyone looking in would have judged her, thinking she's crazy. But why do we stay in unhealthy relationships? And it could happen to you. And I want to share this with you so that it never happens to you. A lot of people who are super intelligent, strong people will do this, and it makes no sense. We have to look at gambling to understand how and what is happening inside of the brain. Imagine for a moment you own a casino. If you own a casino, there's one thing that you want to do. You want to make money. Thoughts aside about casino, about gambling, just imagine for a moment. If you have a business, you want people to continue investing, even if person's not winning. What you have to do is reinforce small wins. In gambling, they call it a variable reinforcement schedule. So where there is a variable reinforcement, it takes longer for somebody to stop investing time and money, even after you have stopped giving them rewards. How does this apply to relationships, you're wondering? So if you are in a relationship where it's totally ended, you might continue to think about, invest your time into, hope, even if the relationship is ended, it will continue. The biggest thing you can tell people is please keep your brain safe from people that are unpredictable, because you can't stop this from happening. When, say, for instance, you're walking on eggshells around someone, you just don't know what they're going to do. It might be at work, it might be at home, it might be a partner, whatever it is, your brain will learn to become persistent. It will keep going. It will keep going until the reward happens. This is a real problem when it comes to high achievers. This is why you get someone that's really successful and they get stuck in this difficult job or difficult relationship, or they keep giving and they're so smart and they keep going with the wrong people because they're waiting for the small reward. They keep persisting. Science has shown the less rewards you give, the more you stay in the relationship, or you stay in it longer, and you will tolerate a difficult job or a difficult company or a difficult people longer. Difficult people, inconsistent and random rewards. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're charming, and other times they're devaluing you, mocking you, and telling you bad things about you. Remember, they're manipulative. So sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're nice. That's manipulation. So we need to understand, because our brain could be set up to feel rewarded and to stay in situations that are not good for us. A toxic company, for instance, or you're rewarded unpredictably. Sometimes your boss tells you you're doing a good job, and then other times they ignore you. So what actionable steps can you take right now to identify if you've been in this scenario? I want you to look at your work, your relationships, your family members. I want you to identify who does this, who's unpredictable. Start noticing. The more you can identify it, the more you can let it go and then move forward. So now, as a small step, start moving in the right directions. I want you to start rewarding yourself for taking healthy decisions. That's how you take control back of your brain. Reward yourself for moving in the right direction rather than holding on for that reward from someone or something that is unhealthy. So please look also in the description and you'll find a free masterclass if you want to understand a bit more about how the brain works. And you can download the free masterclass in there. So let's now move on to lesson number 3. And it really follows on from lesson 2. Hope is holding on to the expectation that somebody will change, something will change. There's a part of the brain that is hardwired for you to stay in the tribe. This is really important because we can continue to grieve long after the situation is over. It's so hard to let go of something when it's over. I remember once I went for a taxi ride and I still remember this, and this is probably about 20 years ago. And this taxi driver was talking about his relationship breaking down and it was so tough for him. And I could see the anger and frustration of what happened and how his ex-wife treated him and what she had done. And I felt really bad for him. And I asked, how long ago did it happen? It happened 7 years ago. Now, why is it that I still speak to people that are still struggling to heal years after the relationship is over? Now, you might be thinking, I just have to live with grief. That time heals and I just have to live with this feeling forever. This is what life's about. But we have to look at what happens in the brain. What happens in the brain is it will be literally triggering pain continuously without the brain reward center being activated. What does that mean? It means that you'll never get like this feeling of relief. It's really, really tough. It's like you're literally in constant stress and you're learning to live with it. And it actually creates trauma responses. Your body starts to feel like you're going to die without this person, that your whole world has died without this person. You literally feel under threat. It's so tough. And so in these scenarios, what we have to do is understand this is how the brain works without judging yourself and making yourself out to be someone that's crazy or silly, and actually look at, okay, I get it. I'm going to please be kind, be loving towards yourself, be compassionate, be understanding. Sometimes you don't have control over what's happening to you. Okay, what is it that brings me joy? What will give me a little bit of relief? What will make me feel a little bit better today? Give yourself moments every day to do something that makes you feel better. Exercise, go for a walk, look at some hobbies, look at reading a book that brings you a little bit of joy. Find trauma therapy, because it is trauma, that can help you regulate what's happening in your brain quicker so you can get on with your life quicker. And do all of this without making yourself wrong for feeling the way you do. If you have found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate. And remember, you are worth it. And every step that you take in changing your life today will literally change the course of your life moving forward. You're literally making the rest of your life better right now by making a change, and it's worth it. So no matter what, be kind to yourself as you move through this journey. Be loving, be compassionate as you start regulating, and send yourself love. Sending you so much love. Till next time.